Welcome to part 1 of our 10-part series on the best HR software in 2026. In this episode, we're doing an overview of some of the top HCM platforms out there. We'll cover everything from lightweight tools for small businesses all the way up to full suite HCM for large enterprises. Buckle up, there's a lot to cover. Before we dive in, this video is brought to you by several HR and HCM leaders, including our title sponsor, Paycom, as well as our other sponsors and partners, Dayforce, Net at Work, Bamboo HR, PDS, and Paypro. What a stellar group of platforms. You can learn more about each of them through the links in the description. And stick around to the end for more resources. All right, let's dive in. What matters in HCM in 2026? Human Capital Management, or HCM, is a broad category. It typically includes everything in a core HRIS system, including employee data, basic reporting, and paperwork, and also extends into areas like payroll, talent management, and workforce planning, learning and development, compensation, analytics, and more. Full suite HCM platforms are designed to manage the entire employee lifecycle in one place. For most organizations, the right question isn't HRIS versus HCM, it's where on the spectrum you need to be. A 10-person company might need solid core HR and payroll, and that's it, whereas a 5,000-person enterprise might need multi-country payroll, skills ontologies, and workforce modeling. Both are valid, but they require very different platforms. So let's walk through the landscape, starting with what works well for smaller organizations, then scaling up through mid-market and enterprise. Best HCM platforms for small businesses. Many small businesses find themselves in the HR software squeeze. They've outgrown spreadsheets, but they don't have time, budget, or headcount for a complex HCM rollout. The best platforms at this end of the market strike a balance. Simple enough for a small HR team or solo HR generalist to administer, powerful enough to cover core needs like onboarding, payroll, benefits, and compliance, and priced in a way that doesn't require an enterprise-level budget. Key requirements at this level include ease of use for both admins and employees, clean self-service portals, minimal clicks, and little to no formal HR software experience required. Core HR and payroll in one place. The ability to process payroll, manage PTO, and maintain employee records without juggling multiple vendors. Onboarding and compliance tools. Digitize new hire paperwork, I-9 and W-4 e-signatures, and built-in federal and state compliance updates. Basic reporting. Headcount, turnover, time off balances, and payroll summaries that let small HR teams answer leadership questions quickly. Here are several HCM platforms consistently chosen by smaller organizations. Note, these are listed alphabetically. You can see the platforms on the left with notable callouts on the right. I won't read through every single one because we have a lot more to cover, but I recommend taking a screenshot and returning to this list later, then setting up demos to see them in action. There are also links in the description where you can get a much more detailed breakdown feature by feature in the Select Hub platform, as well as compare analyst scores. There you go, some of the best HCM software options for smaller organizations. Before we move on, a quick shout out to our title sponsor, Paycom. Unlike systems that bolt together separate tools, Paycom is truly all-in-one, meaning payroll, HR, time tracking, benefits, compliance, and more all live in one database, with no data re-entry, no app hopping, and no security weak points. Even better, Paycom is built on automation. Their AI engine, IWant, gives your workforce permission-based, command-driven access to employee, candidate, and management dashboard data. Just ask a question and it pulls real-time answers instantly, no navigation required. And with automated time-off decisioning, schedule management, and payroll processing all running in the background, Paycom is designed to take the never-ending flood of administrative decisions off your plate. Thanks to Paycom for supporting this series. Check them out through the link in the description to see if it's the right fit for your organization. Now, back to the show. Best HCM platforms for mid-market organizations. As you move into the mid-market, typically 50 to 1,000 employees, your HR challenges shift. You're still resource constrained relative to enterprises, but your needs are now more complex. Multiple locations, departments, or business units, growing regulatory and audit requirements, ACA compliance, EEO reporting, state-specific labor laws, etc., more structured performance management, compensation planning, and career pathing, and often an expanded workforce mix, full-time, part-time, contractors, and more. Mid-market HR buyers typically look for stronger automation and workflows, auto-enrolling employees in benefits plans, triggering onboarding tasks on hire, and automating compliance reminders. Talent management capabilities, performance reviews, goal setting, learning and development, and succession planning that start to connect HR with business outcomes. Richer reporting and analytics. You're no longer just tracking headcount, you need turnover by department, time to fill by role, and labor cost trends by business unit. Here are several platforms often chosen by mid-market organizations. Again, screenshot this list, and there are also links in the description where you can get a much more detailed breakdown feature by feature in the SelectHub platform, as well as compare analyst scores. Our analysts have reviewed popular HR platforms in depth and ranked them with scores based on a myriad of factors like features and integrations. So if you're in the market for a new HR system, you definitely don't want to miss these side-by-side comparisons. A little extra research could save you a ton of time and resources later. Once again, links to SelectHub in the description. Best HCM platforms for enterprise organizations. At the enterprise level, typically 1,000 employees and above, HR platforms stop being just software and start functioning as global workforce infrastructure. Enterprise-grade HCM platforms need to support multi-country operations with multi-currency, multi-language, and regional compliance, data governance and audit trails across business units, subsidiaries, and legal entities, extensive configuration for unique structures, compensation frameworks, and policies, advanced talent and workforce planning capabilities, succession planning, workforce modeling, skills ontologies, predictive analytics, and more. Implementation cycles at this scale often take months. Enterprises frequently establish HR centers of excellence to manage governance, configuration, and vendor relationships. Here are several platforms consistently chosen by large enterprises for their scalability, integration depth, and governance support. Screenshot this list and dive into the links for SelectHub's feature-by-feature comparisons. Our analysts have reviewed popular enterprise HCM platforms in depth and ranked them with scores based on a myriad of factors like features, security, and integrations. A little extra research now could save you a ton of time and resources later. Links to SelectHub platform are in the description. How industry shapes your HCM decision. Beyond company size, one of the most important factors in HCM software selection is industry. A platform that works perfectly for a 500-person SaaS company can be totally wrong for a 500-person healthcare network or 500-person manufacturer. For example, in healthcare, you're dealing with clinical scheduling, credential and license tracking, HIPAA compliance, and managing a mix of full-time, per diem, and contract clinical staff. In manufacturing, you've got union labor agreement management, shift scheduling tied to production lines, and OSHA record keeping. In retail and hospitality, you've got high-volume frontline onboarding, variable demand scheduling, tipped wage payroll, and high turnover. Here are 10 industries along with key considerations and some vendors to consider for each one. You can screenshot these and then dive deeper using the links to SelectHub in the description. I won't read through every single vendor because we'd be here all day, but it's worth reviewing in SelectHub's platform and comparing side by side in detail. There you have it, an overview of some of the best HCM software in 2026. From smaller organizations through to enterprise, and a look at how industry shapes the decision. One more big thank you to the sponsors who made this series possible, including our title sponsor, Paycom, as well as our other sponsors and partners, Dayforce, Net@Work, Bamboo HR, PDS, and Paypro. Each of these brings unique value depending on your organization's size, industry, and HR maturity. To book demos and for more HR software resources, including pricing guides and SelectHub's database of feature comparisons, check out the links in the description. I'm Devin Hennig with SelectHub. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers!